Thinking about the way that you know me. No one ever cared like you care for me. You're such a bright star in the dark space, babe.
Hello my friends, how are you today? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to the fam. My name is Ina Pandora and today we are making a wig. Now if you watch me for a while, you know I love changing hair, changing things around like my hair, my eyes, the color of my eyes, not the eyeballs, okay? But yeah, I do love to do things around here, getting more creative and out of my box. So today I definitely got out of my box, okay? We decided and I created this beautiful hair. Like, take a look, it's so long and it's so long, it's so pretty. I did have this bundle I got a while ago and it was just sitting in my closet. I'm like, you know what, there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube, I can do it. And by the way, if I can do it, you can do it too. So yeah, if you are curious to see how I did it, let's jump into it. I just finished bleaching the knots and I added some foundation in here simply because the lace on this frontal is a little darker than my skin tone. So I have 3 bundles in here, guys. I don't know if you can see, but this is the hair. Very, very nice. Now this is virgin hair, so it actually looks pretty good. So that's what we are going to be using today. One is 18, 20, and 22. So I wanted a little fuller at the ends. So we're going to start with the 20th. We're going to start with the 20, yeah, because I want to keep the length. And then I'm going to add the 18, and on top of it, I'm going to add the 22. Of course, if you want it a lot longer, but you don't mind to have the like not as thick at the end, then start with the 22, 20, and 18. Now our frontal is 16, so it's nothing really complicated, I don't think so, but I'm gonna show you in a second how I measure it. Now it's really important to have the right canvas head. What I meant by is to have the right size of the canvas head is you want to measure your head first, and I'll show you how in a second, and then use those measurements to decide what kind of head do you need. So mine is 21 inches, but they're available in 22, 23, and so on. And the way you want to do is you size around to see, you know, the measurements of your head. All right, I can't find my measurement tape, but I'll kind of give you an idea how to measure. So you have to measure from here to here, and that is going to be, I already kind of, you know, put the signs here. So that's I'll show you how I put the dome. And then you want to measure yourself from here to here, to which is our, like, see, our line right here. Of course, you're gonna do a few mistakes on the way. That is okay. And then you want to measure yourself from here all the way around to here, and then just put the same thing all around, and that's going to be like this area. Let's see. And then now when I'm gonna put the cap on into our little thingy right here, I'll show you right here. Okay, so the way I do the cap is right here. The cap comes with, like, see, in the front I already put it on, so that's why you'll see foundation on it. I already put it on to kind of measure it and see if that's a good size. Like in the end, on the lower part of your head, it's going to be like where the lines are going like together, and in front you're gonna want the wider, like, see how it's going, like wider, these lines right here. That's what we're looking for. So we're gonna put the little thing in here. Now you want to adjust it so it'll be kind of, you know, like your cap should stop here. Like, see, where's our line? We're just gonna stop here. I'm gonna secure it here. Now again, these lines you want to be kind of the same level as these, or at least the same kind of, you know. All right, let's see. Pretty close. But another pen like right here, see? So we're just gonna put that, I'm gonna pin it down. Now again, this, I don't know if this is the best method to do it, but I'm just sharing what I've done the last time, and actually it did work. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Just gonna like see where this side is. We're just going to pin it in. All right, and at the end you want to take it all the way down, like right here. So we're gonna pin that too. All right, and our cap is all ready. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put our, like secure our frontal. So we're just gonna do that. Make sure you are pulling your frontal at least half an inch over your cap. Also, you're doing the same on the back. Make sure that everything is stretched out so you don't have any gaps in between. See how tight it is all around? This is what you need. Now to complete and sew in, I'm gonna be using this kit I got off of Amazon. It was super affordable, I think under 10 bucks. Like the kit is included with all of these needles and the thread. So we are going to be using one of the curved out. We do have threads as well, so we're gonna do this one. I'm getting the needle underneath the cap, then pulling in and making sure that I'm making a knot like twice before I go in and start securing the closure. Everybody has their own way to do things, so you know. But here we go. I'm gonna knot it twice because I want it to be really secure, especially the frontal. You want to make sure that it's very secure. So I'm not gonna do big gaps or anything. Just gonna try to do it like that, twice around, and then we're just gonna secure it like that. And then you complete and continue doing that all the way till the other side. Now, definitely when it comes to the closure, you want to make as, you know, as tight as possible to make sure that it's not going to move around or there's not going to be any spacing in between. So it's going to be all tight and nice. And we have our, as you can see, we have our frontal all sewed in from ear to ear. I'll bring it really close so you kind of can see what I did. Now the way I'm going to be sewing in the bundles, I am not going to cut each bundle. I'm just going to overlay them and keep going, keep sewing them in. So I'm starting with just placing the first, securing it with these T-pins. By the way, the T-pins are included in the sewing kit that I showed you earlier as well. So what I do, I'm trying to tie the knot on the edge, on the end, and then just going ahead and sew it in. Now I do sew it in doubled up, so I'm putting the bundles basically in 2 layers. This is going to save me time and also is going to look a lot fuller. Now, since I'm applying 2 tracks at a time, I want to make sure that they don't look bulky, so I'm basically tracing a line, a guidance line, probably around 1 inch thick. My cap was a little loose, so I decided to kind of fold it in and just sew my tracks over it, but I wanted to make sure that they are all secured down, so I did it with bobby pins and then got back at marking, you know, the spacing that I want to do in between the tracks. Again, if you want to double them up, probably 1 inch in between is going to be perfect. This way it's not going to look too bulky and, you know, too thick. And as you can see, I am just folding it and keep sewing it, keep going and sewing it by the lines that I traced earlier. Now, this process is pretty repetitive and pretty boring, so I'm gonna speed it through. I'm gonna put some music so you kind of can follow along to see what I'm doing, but honestly, there's nothing really, anything else that I'm doing. Just keep doing the same thing over and over.
You got me like
Once I reach the top, I'm trying to get the track in different direction, and of course I'm marking it to make it a lot more easier for me to follow. However, at the top, I'm going to be adding just one single track at a time to avoid them to be too noticeable or too bulky. Also, on this stop, I don't fold the tracks. I am actually cut them in between. This way they lay flat and nothing sticks out or pokes out.
So fly, you got me like my. You got me like my. You got me like there's no other than you now, babe. Nah, 'cause you got me like my. Like oh my God, this time it's all different. You got every little string on me. The way you make me feel is crazy. How did you get so fly? You got me like my. You got me like my. You got me like there's no other than you now, baby. Nah, 'cause you got me like my.
And the last track, I'm placing it really close to the frontal and actually connecting it to the frontal as well. The needle is going through the mesh and also through the frontal itself to make it like really, really tight, but at the same time lay flat. So the transition is flawless and not noticeable at all. And the wig is completed, so the next step is to install it. Unfortunately, my camera stopped recording when I noticed it, but basically I put it 2 caps, one on top of each other. One I pulled it all the way to my forehead, and then I poked a hole near the ear side. Make sure that the cap is stretched out around my ears. And then with a got-to-be glue, I sprayed it all around my forehead to kind of glue that cap into my hair, taking a little bit at a time, spraying it generously, and then with my finger kind of spread it out to make sure that lays flat and it's not moving anywhere. So once it's dry, we're gonna cut the excess of the cap all around our forehead and on the sides. Definitely take your time with this and make sure you are not cutting yourself. When I want my wig to last for a couple days, I use the Ghost Bond. Now, definitely using this method, you gotta be a little more patient with the installation and actually put a little, spread it all around the edges, then spread it around to make sure that our edges are all glued up. And you spread the glue uniform all around that area. And the super important part, you have to be patient and wait it until it's getting all dried up. Once it's dry, it's gonna turn clear. Now, if you want your wigs to last more than 2-3 days, then definitely apply a few layers, like 2, 3, 4 layers. I found out that 2 layers is more than enough for me when I want to have like few days wear out of it. Now, the way I lay my lace frontal is just apply in sections first. And I'm starting with my forehead, doing a little section at a time, kind of gives you a little more control over where the edges is going and how it's laying, and it makes it a lot easier too. For more control, I'm making a small cut on both sides of the lace on my forehead, and with a comb, I'm trying to kind of brush it in between and wiggle it to make sure that it lays flat. Now, you don't want to push it too flat because your hairs are going to kind of glue onto it too. So what I do is kind of brush it in between, but apply a little bit of pressure. This way it kind of lays nicely, but at the same time my hair looks a little more natural and you get a little more volume out of it. Definitely this frontal is a lot bigger than my head, so I want to make sure that it lays nicely around my ears. So cutting it off a little piece, it's part of it, so you want to make sure that you kind of lay it so it looks more natural. I already added the second layer of glue, so now it's all dry. As you can see, it's all clear now, ready to be glued down. So again, going to be kind of placing it very gently in the area and fixated in the direction that I want it to go. Once it's all set, we're going to cut the lace what I'm doing is just going in really tight to the hairline. Now this lace is already pre-plucked, so I really don't need to do anything to it. It already looks pretty realistic already, so all I want to do is just go in and very tightly cut the lace around my hairline in the area where I feel like it didn't glue properly. It's not sticking, like it's not completely melted into the skin. I'm adding the got to be glue at the edge and massaging it into the skin a little. And then with a piece of fabric, I'm just very tightly wrapping around my head. I want to make sure that it's very tight to give it a little more strength and make sure that it glues and melts it into the skin and will look more flawless. Normally I keep it like for 15 minutes. Once it's dry, you're gonna take it off and ta-da! It kind of melted in. Now, if you feel like your hair is way too melted down, just go with a comb and kind of massaging it. Wiggle it a little bit along the hairline, and that's going to kind of get them back on, back like flexible. I wanted my part to be a little more on the side, so I went ahead and kind of parted with a comb first and then secured it with a clamp and then added a lot of foam, and that kind of fixated it and set it in place, plus tamed any flyaway that I might have. Alright guys, this is it for today. Let me know if you like videos like that. What should I do next? Should I do something fun maybe? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on my next one.